All right. This is episode 5, and we are back with the Unpacking Black podcast. I'm your girl, Shelise.
And I'm White, and we out the box with it.
And y'all know we got motherfucking intro music.
Let's go. Yeah, man. So we are back for episode 5. Yes. Oh, man. We are glad to be here. Appreciate everybody for coming out, listening, man, and enjoying yourself. Just rocking with us, man. We're going to keep on going strong. And we got a good show for y'all today.
We got a long list, per usual. I think the first thing we're going to get into is Tamika Malory's Breakfast Club interview.
Well, let's start it off hot, man. Look, I got some thoughts. I'm going to just keep it in the talk, though. I got some comments on the interview as well. I'll let you go ahead and go first.
Save the controversy for the end.
Yeah.
I think the pod was, the episode of Breakfast Club was great, in my opinion. I know who Tamika Malory is. I know what she stands for. I know that she's an activist for the Black community and advocates for a lot of the, different Black Lives Matters issues. And she just came out with her own organization called Until Freedom. And she also just released a book called State of Emergency that she dedicated to her son, which I thought was really cool. But I don't know. I didn't mind the interview at all. I didn't disagree with anything that she said. There was 2 points that I feel like we could have did without. One being when she said, she's trying to meet people where they are. And if that's by going through Cardi B, because a lot of our community listens to Cardi B and loves Cardi B. And she has Cardi B on the front of the book, or in the front of the book, I should say, not on the front. And she said she want to meet people where they're at. So if she got to flash Cardi B on the front page of the book for people to get people's attention, then I completely understand that. The part of the interview that I did not agree with is when she said, I'm trying to reach Ray Ray and Keisha, so if I got to go, that route to get Ray Ray and Keisha's attention on every street corner, then that's what I'm going to do. And to me, that part was just unnecessary. Like, it kind of sounded very stereotypical. Like, why you got to be Ray Ray and Keisha? That's not every Black person's name on the corner somewhere, but whatever. Anyway, that part I didn't agree with. And also Angela Yee's comment trying to be funny, like, would she date a white man, because she was saying how she's still single, and what would it take for her to be dating someone, and who would she be interested in, because she's very busy. She has a lot going on. And Angela Yee kind of joked saying, "Oh, would you date a white man?" And then Tamika entertained it. Like, 10 years from now, I don't know, we'll see. I might be desperate for a husband at that point. And Charlamagne's like, no, I don't care how funny y'all think this is. It's a no. We all gonna have heart attacks. Like, how could you, the leader of the biggest, Black Lives Matter organization in the country, date a white man? No, that's not even funny. I'm sorry, it's not. So other than those 2 points, I kind of agree with everything that she said. I understand what she was saying and every point that she was trying to make. I didn't really have any real issues or disagreements with the rest of the conversation, the interview.
You ready for me?
But I know you felt very differently about it, so I'll go ahead and let you get all the way into it.
But yeah, I just want to kind of make it quick. My issues with the Tamika Malory interview and a person itself is some real, like you're walking a very thin line when, as an activist, you start to take corporate dollars. You know what I'm saying? Like, that turns into something really, it can be potentially very dangerous, because ultimately at the end of the day, if you're taking money from someone, you're at the behest of that person. That means that it's demands on dollars. You know what I'm saying? And so that's a fine line. And to kind of put yourself out there on Front Street, you know what I'm saying, and this idea of being a leader, and then you're going to the Grammys and you're taking this money for endorsements. It's almost like then you start to do something really dangerous. You start to tailor the message. You don't speak for the people anymore. You're speaking to the people. And the message a lot of times is really watered down, and it's really not about the need of said people. And I think that's a very dangerous thing that we get into when we play that type of game. You know what I'm saying?
And can I intervene just a little bit if I will? These are certain topics that she did address on the interview. You know, people saying that she did the Grammys and you know her getting all this funding from these major corporations now when she said that's something that she wasn't going to do in the past. So these are topics that she did address on the interview, and then she did also address the backlash that she's receiving from doing said moves or decisions that she's deciding to make. And she did respond to those. So to me, it was clear in my understanding as to why she did the Grammys. She said, she's doing the Grammys, which we all know is a racist platform, and they've done racial things in the past. But people who work for the Grammys who are black are making sure that they're shining light on other black organizations and trying to spread the money around to help black activists and black organizations to get attention and funding to the black people. So if someone from inside the Grammys who works there and is black reaches out to her, is she supposed to not take the opportunity to get some of the Grammys attention and money and funding on her organization? I would.
Okay, so once again, it goes back to the demand on dollars. These people don't bring people in just to shine light on their organization for their benefit. So everything that anyone does, especially when it comes to companies and corporations, is done in their own benefit. So when they see someone that's being propped up or held as a quote unquote leader, which in this day and age, I believe that the day of leaders are over. It's more of a people-led movement. That's exactly what it is. And you have to go to the ground and talk to the people, but not to get too far away from the point. When they create these false idols or these icons or whatever people perceive to be our leaders and whatnot, it's almost done in a way where it benefits the company or the corporation. So it's like, we're going to give you some money. We're going to shine light on your platform, but we need you to read this script that we wrote,
So what's the issue? What's the issue with Cadillac
I mean, the issue, and in regards, like,
for you?
it goes back to that same thing. It's like, you know, you're partnering with people that may be tailoring the message. It's not coming from the soul. It's not coming from the people, and that ultimately is problematic. You know what I'm saying?
I think it goes back to what she is doing with said bag. Where is this money going? If she's putting it back into the community, if she's getting resources and helping people who actually need this money in the black community, I mean, I think accountability is what's important. If she's being held accountable for what this money is being used for, and there's receipts and we can see the work, I don't care who she does an endorsement with. I really don't. It's the same thing with athletes. You know, they do their job. They have certain publicity. They have a platform. They have endorsements. They get sponsors all the time. Whatever they choose to do with that money is up to them. But at the end of the day, if you represent a certain thing, you're going to stand by it. Then I want to see your money go back into that cause. I want to see you, giving back to these charities that you also, claim to be a part of, and things that you say that you believe in. Then yeah, your money should go back to those charities and help black people. I believe that, but I don't care where you're getting the endorsement from.
Yeah.
Whether it's Nike or Adidas, I don't care.
But see, the thing with that, and we have to take a deeper look at that too. Like, is helping a few people more is it more beneficial to help a few people versus the group at large? Because sometimes that's what we do. Like, people will take endorsements and people will take certain things to help 2 or 3 black people, but the group, the larger group as a whole is still left on the outs and is still suffering. You know what I'm saying? And like, this is another reason why I don't like, why I don't believe activists should take money from corporations, because at the end of the day it's almost like, okay, you get a couple $1 million, you help some people, but ultimately the group at large is still under the thumb, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, do do the good of a few outweigh the benefit of the group, you know what I'm saying?
I think I think that she is just one person. And if she's helping 10 people, 15 black people, 30 black people, 1,000 black people, her ultimate goal, she said on the interview, I'm just regurgitating what I understood from her interview. Again, I don't know her personally. So if she's been doing this work, she said, for 25 years. She didn't just pop up out of nowhere. People feel like she did because she's now getting this attention and these endorsements and this funding, and her face is now being seen all over the place. She's been around, she's been doing things, and she's helping bring heat and awareness to all of these unfortunate incidents that's been happening to black people. She's not the only person who's doing it, but she has made a major contribution to bringing attention to a lot of these police violence situations and systematic racism situations. However, if she's only helping 10 people and her goal is to help a million, or to help all black people, the way that she's going to do it is by getting her name and her work out there and spreading it across major corporations and going to the Cardi B's and the Cadillacs and the Grammys. And she's trying to let everybody know that she's doing this work. When she goes back home and go to bed at night, and what she's thinking about, when she wakes up in the morning, and her message and her mission, that is what really counts. In the daytime, I'm sorry, if Cadillac is what it's going to take for me to do what I need to do for my people, then yes, I'm going to go to Cadillac. Why would I stay in my neighborhood and go to the mom and pop shop down the street that's only going to give me $50 when I can go to Cadillac or whoever else and get thousands and millions of dollars? That to me that doesn't make sense. Why if she's going to stay local and she's going to stay small, the resources and the help and the work that she can provide is going to be local and small.
Well, I'll say this, and to finish my thought, ultimately, I think that the help that the people at large need is a lot more than a couple $1 million, a lot more than a couple $1 billion. We're talking literal trillions. But the thing is to keep the message true, you know what I'm saying, or as authentic as possible. I feel like a large part of whatever an activist gets or people that's speaking on behalf of the community gets, it has to come from the people. Like I just don't believe corporations are the answer, you know.
Let's move on. We 32 minutes in about debating about Tamika Malory. Anyway, if you listened to episode 4, which I hope you did, if you did not, please go listen to it right now. After you listen to this one. But we talked about Soulja Boy, Big Soulja. And we gave him his flowers. He's a TikTok legend right now. He out here getting that make it clap money, doing his thing. And I come on Instagram and Shade Room got headlines all across saying that he's being sued. He got a lawsuit going on with the Jane Doe. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it, that we all know is Nia Riley. If it ain't, then this is just my opinion. He has a lawsuit that an ex-girlfriend of his that he was in a long-term relationship with, she is suing for alleged abuse and a miscarriage that she claimed to have had during the relationship. Now, there's been a lot of controversy going around on social media about how, as soon as he gets that make it clap bag, now the lawsuit wants to start rolling in. And I just feel for the man because he's on the up right now, and he got to deal with something from his past, and I hope that he's grown. I hope that he's changed and he's not that same person today, but we'll see how this one pans out.
Yeah, I mean, in regards to this particular issue, I don't like the idea that people try to, backtrack and come back years later to try to dig up something. And it's really duplicitous when it's like a civil suit. So it's not like even I'm bringing criminal charges against you for something that you done to me. It's like, well, I really don't even I really don't care whether or not you get punished. I just want to punish your pockets financially, and I think that's something that's very nasty, bro. And we really got to stop doing that, and we really got to be people of, we, people got to have some type of moral character, because when you get into this type of shit, where you go to backslide and now you want to bring up some old shit or some shit that happened before or a long time ago, it's like then you wonder why motherfuckers don't rock with you or don't fuck with you. And if it's just about a bag and it's like, well, nigga, I'm just a whole villain out here, all bets is off, I'm doing dirt to anybody, then, I mean, shit, bro, if it happened to you, then just take it on the chin like a G. You know what I'm saying?
My thing is, and I agree with you 100%. I've had past, I had a toxic marriage, and that ended in 2017. And these allegations that she is now, doing the lawsuit for was from an incident in 2015 and another one in 2017. We're in 2021, halfway through the year. People's in a pandemic. Maybe that got something to do with the lawsuit. Who knows? But I'm not about to go relive that, rehash that. If my ex became a millionaire today, I just don't know that after everything I went through, it would be worth it for me to go back and open that box. Like, no, I'm good. I'm moving on. There's no need for me to go back to the past and rehash all that. It's not worth it for me.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand that, but and this is a serious topic, man. So, in light of serious topics, I'm finna take a turn. I'm off the beaten path. Hey, goddamn, Soulja was in that leg kicking ass like goddamn rocking my V, huh? We thought he was Vader. From the top rope, them boys come out there like, hey, it's all Jill Duggan. Put this 2x4 your motherfucker. He say he stomp a butthole leather and walk it dry. Oh God, we going to hell.
And the Unpacking Black podcast does not condone violence or domestic abuse of any kind.
No, we don't. We don't here. We are good, upstanding people.
We got so many disclaimers.
Yeah, we do.
We should just go ahead and record those so we can just like drop the accused bomb like boom, and it'll just say it over the recording for us.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that in the intro. Got that Soulja boy out here kicking motherfucker through a coffee table. God damn, Bruce Leroy.
Oh man, well, shout out to Soulja Boy. I hope he gets his lawsuit figured out. I hope he has grown as a person. We've all watched him on TV be young Soulja. We hope that he has learned how to be big Soulja now. Moving right along. Speaking of artists, we got to get into that J. Cole album that just dropped. It's called The Off Season. But we know, if you're a J. Cole fan, my boy didn't take no days off. He never disappoints, and he came at us with another one. I've been listening to it on repeat since it dropped. I'm a big J. Cole fan. He never disappoints. What do you mean? Like, he got so many bars. I should have just had my favorite bar, top 10 favorite bar list for y'all, but I don't have it with me today. But I love me some J. Cole. Keep doing what you're doing. If you ain't listened to the album, please listen to the album. If you hate J. Cole, fuck you. The same for you. But it was a great album, and little to no advertisement, little to no announcements. He said he was releasing it, 2 weeks before it actually dropped?
Yeah.
And it's doing crazy numbers already. So the proof is in the pudding.
All right, so check me out, right? Here I go.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, man.
Go ahead.
But yeah, now, like, in regards to the new J. Cole album, The Off Season, it's a pretty dope just project. I wouldn't consider it an album. I think a lot of the songs are just like one-offs. They just kind of get to the point real quick, and it's like give it to them, and it's like a give and go type of situation. He did some good rapping. Production is nice. But yeah, it just wasn't that for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's not an album, and I think that's my biggest pushback to everyone that's speaking or has a comment on the album. You know what I'm saying?
So you disappointed that he continued to show us he's a great rapper is what I heard.
I think like okay, so check this. Like when it comes to somebody of that caliber, you expect like the expectation is a lot higher. So I think what he gave us, like I said, it's a cool little project, EP mixtape, whatever you want to call it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I wouldn't consider it an album. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not an album. It's just something to keep us um just to keep him in the back of our minds, you know what I'm saying, until the actual fall off comes. I think that album is really gonna be, if he's coming with this level of rapping, and I know just as far as the production goes, it's gonna be something that's really, it's gonna be in the realm of J. Cole, but it's gonna be something that's vast. I think that the fall off is what we judge J. Cole by. This is cool. It's great. It's just something, you know what I'm saying. The streets need to eat. So you know what I'm saying. This was food for the streets, man. And yeah, like major way. I fucks with it though, but yeah, it's not an album. It's a project. It's a dope project, but if we keep it in that realm, then in comparison to what's coming after this, then I think people will be more adjusted. You know what I'm saying?
So you think he just gave us something just to keep our focus for a little bit longer?
Yeah, I say that's definitely what is presented to the audience. I mean, in comparison to his other bodies of work, they're more fleshed out ideas, more, it's like you can actually see him crafting something. I think a lot of people just say, "Oh, you got bars, so this is a lyrical album," or this is like, no, that doesn't, like, put it like this. In the world we live in, some of the worst fucking rappers got bars. Like these niggas are just literally just being like, okay, well, I got bars, but I can't make these bars make sense. J. Cole is one of the few artists that could be lyrical while at the same time kind of conveying a thought. That's the highest level of MCing right there. Like, yeah, you can rhyme. Yeah, you may have some metaphors and some punchlines, but can you make it make sense? And I think as an artist, when it comes to his albums, he definitely shows that. And I think that that's something that's just, it's aloof on this project. That's why I'm labeling it a project, because I know his caliber or his level of skill, and he can do that effortlessly. So it's like this is just him warm, like what it is. It's like it's the off season. He training, he getting his mind right, he conditioning. Like and if you look at it like that, and you take it if you take it from that and you look at it like that, then you'll appreciate it a lot more. Because I think when people get the fall off, they're gonna really see what he's been actually working on, and I think that is where we are gonna see his magnum opus. That's gonna be his greatest, I believe. You know what I'm saying? And he's always been making these strides to get better. So I think that's what the people should look for. But let this hold you over, man. Yeah.
It is. It is what's up. Yeah. Um, we got to give y'all the music hot topics, and then we always got to leave y'all with some sort of television movie-ish, review or update or suggestion to watch. Watt had me check out. Now, is it a documentary?
Yeah, documentary.
On Netflix called "The Son of Sam." Okay, and it was eerie as hell, but I did enjoy it. It had me on the edge of my seat. It got me through a couple hours of work. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you recap and tell the people what it's about. But I definitely think they should check it out.
Yeah, so basically the Sons of Sam is a limited documentary on Netflix. It's about the serial killer murders that took place in the 70s in New York. Um and it basically entails the kind of like that they catalog the journey of actually finding a serial killer, but there's a writer.
Serial killer.
Yeah, there's a writer that uncovered or went a little bit deeper, and he came across what some people consider a conspiracy theory. But I mean, it's pretty factual when you look at all the evidence. Like a lot of this stuff just kind of lines up to where there wasn't just one killer. Like these were cult murders, and I don't want to give too much of it away, but as you go along in the series, like it's this grand conspiracy that spans from one part of America to the other part of America, and it's a really interesting,
You would have to
take
say
on the
that.
times. Especially during that time, there's a lot of killing going on, a lot of wild style cowboy shit going on, and so this documentary really takes a look at that, and it shines that like coats were a thing in the '70s. People like this shit was real. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I said, I don't want to give too much of it away. So I definitely want y'all to kind of go ahead and look at it on Netflix. It is a great fucking watch. I guarantee you gonna enjoy it, and it's quick too.
And the main, what was it, the main detective on the case, he said, something didn't sit right with him. He didn't want to put the story to rest. He still wanted to investigate and dig and figure out more, about why the son of Sam was doing what he did, and if there was just more than one of them, if they did really catch the killer, or is this just the beginning, of another serial killing murderous story. And they kind of swept it under the rug. No one was really willing to back his story or try to support him to, release more details or dig deeper into the investigation. So I thought that was interesting too. What would the result have been? What would he have uncovered had he kept digging and somebody backed him and actually, went further with the story?
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Yeah, like as he kind of digs deeper into the series and he uncovers this, like
Right.
it's a linked network of cultish activity, including people like Charles Manson. Like this shit was crazy as fuck. And kind of going back on that point,
Yeah.
it's
They
like
just caught him one day, like,
yeah, yeah, but like going back on like just speaking on that point, and it's something that they glossed over briefly. Charles
right.
Manson always told reporters that his plan was to start a race war, and this cult, like this church group out of England, that was their intention too. They prophesized that the world was going to end due to race wars. So there's always been this lingering element of racism when it comes to these cults. And
Ooh.
then you have this journalist kind of wondering like, okay, why doesn't nobody believe me? Why don't nobody see this? In the most obvious point, like they glare over it. It's like, well, shit, we know now. Like police have always had like a racist agenda, and we know that these cults, like now looking at it, like they have ties to it too. So it's one of them things where it's like, okay,
Okay.
when you connect that dot, oh, it makes sense now. It makes sense why people are turning a blind eye, because these crazy racist motherfuckers are trying to pop some shit off, and motherfuckers in law enforcement are just turning a blind eye, letting it happen because they want it to go down too. When you bring that into the fold, and like I say, that's something they glossed over. I wish they would have touched on that particular part a little
Yeah,
bit
just
more.
open your eyes.
Yeah, and it'll bring all the pieces to the puzzle together. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if you need something to watch, check out Son of Sam on Netflix. Let us know what you think about it. It's just like a mini series, not too long. You can definitely get through it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a good watch, quick watch. You can get in, get out, and hopefully, you come up with some conspiracy theories of your motherfucking own, cause I got some too, in regards to other murders that were happening kind of around a similar time in different places of America. But yeah, man, I'm gonna do my research.
Yes, we cannot forget about our finale topic here. This is a good one. Joe Budden, the Joe Budden podcast.
Yeah,
There's been a lot of controversy going on YouTube. If you're big on YouTube, there's so many videos that you can watch. He just released another one actually yesterday where he was defending himself. But I guess Rory and what's the other guy's name?
Rory and Mal.
Yes, they got fired from the Joe Budden podcast because I think it's a classic case of mixing business with pleasure. And it went bad. It went the wrong way. I think it was miscommunication.
Yeah.
And then ownership versus employee. Like kind of like this situation with the pod. I'm the owner and Watt is the employee, and sometimes he likes to think the roles is reversed.
What the fuck?
I'm just joking.
The writing's on the wall. My time
I'm just
is
joking.
limited.
I'm just joking.
This is a good time, not a long time, y'all. Real shit.
Me and Watt are both equal pods of this pod. Okay, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
But
Look.
equal parts. Yeah. Yeah. Dancing all in your videos. You heard it here first. I'll let you go ahead and get into your opinions about the Joe Budden podcast, and I'll just kind of add my opinion where I see fit.
Okay. So, in regards to this ongoing issue or the issue that has happened over the past couple of days, in regards to the Joe Budden podcast, I'm a firm believer in transparency up front. And I don't think that Joe wasn't being transparent. It's just the way this whole thing was structured and came about. It's going to cause some confusion. I do think that they were like salary workers. And they speak to actually having like profit sharing. So they would get a percentage of the profits. The thing is with the way this business is set up and structured, there isn't like I can see how that could potentially cause an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, but because ultimately, and we spoke about this earlier, is that you don't want to have a situation where people are filing their returns,
right?
And somebody's numbers, the numbers don't make sense across the board. So in that particular regard, yeah, it's kind of like it's a courtesy to make sure that we're all on the up and on the same page, because what you don't want is for anybody to get audited. That shit is not cool.
Right,
when the
IRS,
IRS
act as such.
Yeah, like when the IRS asks to see the books, oh, you gonna show the books. Ain't gonna be no who the fuck are you. You know who we is. We the IR motherfucking is. And if you want to continue to work for Luther's janitorial services, you will shit the fuck up and get back to work.
Regardless of what the mistake was or why the mistake was made, somebody had to have noticed it or saw it or seen it. And for whatever reasons that they kept it from Rory and Mal is whatever, maybe they didn't need to know. There was on a need to know basis, but somebody knew about it. That wasn't the first time we all seen this $400,000 mistake.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So even like with the point you just spoke on with
Right.
the $400,000 error that Rory say he saw when he did get a look at accounting, it's almost like, man, you're in a situation like,
Right. It's not $5,000.
yeah, you gotta understand, like when we start talking about business, bro, and we start getting into that amount of money, it's like this some shit you ain't gonna pay by. If niggas fucking run and they making errors like this, somebody's going to jail over $500,000. That's why a lot of these motherfuckers getting locked up now. It ain't because they took a loan from the government. It's the amount of money that they took. It's like, oh, you a big frauder. You ain't doing it. You ain't small time. You big time. So and that's the thing too in business. Like you have to have someone watching the person that's watching the money. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Which at that point we need new accountants because we're not watching you watch me watch you. Like, no, you're fired. I need a new accounting. No. If I can't trust the accountant, who can I trust? You're here so that I don't make mistakes with the money financially. What? Now I can't even trust you because you missing, normal clerical stuff? No. You gotta go. And I don't know. I would have showed the books just, on the principle of relationships and just keeping the peace. Why not? If I don't have anything to hide, regardless if I feel like I don't have to show you these books, and we all know Joe Budden's personality and his, he kind of has this arrogant aura. But if I feel like you're being disrespectful or like you just out of line for asking me for some shit, okay, we're still business partners at the end of the day, right? We're still working together. I have this $1 million pod that we're doing together. Like, this is my brand. Why would I jeopardize that over you wanting
Mm-hmm.
to see some books
Yeah,
if I'm not hiding anything?
true.
That's just my opinion.
Um,
I would have showed you the books. Let's keep this going. Like,
well, yeah, but to play devil's advocate, it was an ongoing situation, and they kind of just split and went their own way, right? And it was a couple weeks where the pod didn't happen, or they just wasn't on it, and Joe Budden was bringing other people in, and it was still a good show. The thing that we have to remember at the end of the day, ultimately, like Joe is not only the boss, but he is the star talent. So it's very difficult, it isn't as difficult to remove ancillary things from something versus the core components. It's almost like if you got a car, right? And if you take
right.
the engine out, then nothing works. But if you maybe remove one or two parts or a sensor, you could still go to the store or get to where you need to be. I mean, the car works perfectly when all parts work in concert of each other. But like Joe, Joe is the focal point. He's the star of the show. So I think that they lost a lot of leverage when they stepped away from it, only to come back, you know what I'm saying, and see that this thing hadn't missed the beat. Like, it was still going. If you could have worked through it, you worked through it. If you say, well, shit, fuck it, we gone. If you out, then just be out. You know what I'm saying? But you have to pick a side and actually stay there. I think them leaving and then coming back, ultimately it puts them in a real precarious situation, or even just like their friendship is now in danger because you walked away from it, you came back to it, and you walked away from it. It's like, okay, this isn't what you're not. It's something outside of business. Now you're affecting things outside of the business with the way that you're acting. It's almost like, just be solid. If you like, okay, man, we can't come to no conclusion. This ain't working. I appreciate the opportunity, but I'm gonna go my way, and I wish you the best of luck. And everybody kind of go their own way and do their thing. And if the split is amicable, then you can still be friends. If it gets to this point where it's messy and you got people on different sides wanting to share their viewpoints, what ultimately happens is now you have to question. Now you basically, you could be potentially damaging the structure of that friendship. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think when it comes to your relationship and your contribution to the pod, you're thinking our relationship is better than this. Like, yes, I am just an employee. We all know you're the owner, Joe. We know. You know what I'm saying? We know who you are. We know what you do, and that we work with you or for you, however you want to put it. But at the end of the day, I'm assuming that we have that understanding, we have that connection. There's a certain level of respect that's going to go along with this as well, regardless if you're the owner and I'm the employee. I just thought maybe at a sense it's just like brotherhood. They thought and they expected and they felt like they deserved more than what they got from him.
I mean, yeah, and then when you start to like really, put weight on the friendship in that type of way, it causes a strain. I would ultimately say, I don't believe that you can be an employer to your friends. You can go into business with your
Right.
friends, because even outside of the context of this friendship, it's like you can't son your homeboys, not niggas that really fuck with you, because at some point it's almost like, well then fuck it then, let's go outside, let's hit. It's on some shit like that, because you trying to son niggas. And when you start talking about employer employee situations, it really is that type of situation. Like, you're a subordinate. You know what I'm saying? Like, you work for someone, and I don't think that actually works. Like, it'll never work. You know what I'm saying? Like, friendships and business don't mix for that particular reason, because someone has to be the authority and someone has to be a subordinate. Yeah, so it's like leaders and followers type of shit. And you can even have those dynamics in just friendships in general, but it's different. You know what I'm saying? It's like, when to be a leader, when to step up, when to kind of just take a back seat, when to just give people their space. But yeah, this is what that is. And ultimately, at the end of the day, like, if you value the friendship, sometimes you have to step away. Sometimes you have to become your own boss, and you have to take that journey of entrepreneurship to go out and build your own thing, and use that, and use the platform that Joe's giving you to catapult you into something else. He put you on the podcast, but that doesn't mean you have to stay and do his show forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, he, like, as we can see, when it comes to like guest host or people assisting him with the pod, he can put anybody on there and it'll be entertaining, because he's a star. He makes a conversation good. So the people around him have to say, well, okay, I can come in, I can work with you, but just as a boss and an entrepreneur in my own right, I need to build my own thing. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that brings me to, my point. We were talking about this earlier, people being owners versus employees. And if you're going to be an employee of a company, any company, and you're going to work every single day, putting in a 9 to 5 for that company, make sure that you're doing something outside of that 9 to 5, those 8 hours you're spending there, to help, fund yourself. If you're getting a salary or income from this 9 to 5 that you are not an owner of, make sure that you're taking that income and helping it fund your dream or your business or whatever you're going to build for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're going to put in all this time and work into somebody else's company. And if something happens, anything can happen, a pandemic, and things fall apart, what are you going to have to fall back on? So don't put in all your hard work, sweat, and tears in somebody else's dream and you not helping build your own. Just going to say that.
Yeah, and that's what this leads to. And it's like, you see the fallout because people don't uphold the integrity of the friendship. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a very important thing. And if some people really value, then at some point you have to make that distinction that, like, businesses are going to come and go. These things are going to start and they're going to end. If you're saying I value a friendship more than $1, then you have to get to some point where you say, okay, I just need to exit this, but we can still be friends. We can still be cool. And that's what I was talking about when I was just saying about being amicable. But ultimately, man, I hope that they kind of just get through it and just work it out, man, and make it make sense for them,
So we gave the people a lot today, as we normally do. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Yes, if you guys are still with us, I hope you are. I am Shelise with the Melanin. You can follow me on all platforms at Shelise_with the Melanin.
And Watt, you can follow me on all socials at Watt1Band. Yeah.
That's it. Go ahead and hit them with the closing line.
And we out the box with it. Do you hear me?
Hey.